So in the past couple of days, there has been a good amount of information that has come out when it comes to Brandon Aiyuk and a potential trade with the 49ers, potentially the Patriots, Browns, or Steelers. And so I want to share here first the news that has been going around when it comes to this and what people are talking about right now. And then I'll share what Adam Schefter had to say as well. And so first off, this is what initially came out in the past couple of days from Cam Marino. I am not familiar with his work, but this is the guy who has shared some interesting information that lots of people have been picking up and discussing. But here's what he said, and you can decide whether or not you believe that this is fully what's going on, but wanted to share it here. The Patriots and Browns are the front runners in trade discussions for 49ers receiver Brandon Aiyuk, per a league source. Both teams are offering more than $30 million. Though the Steelers are also in the mix, this should come down to the Patriots and the Browns. Aiyuk is not expected to be a 49er in 2024. So it seemed to me like for a while that the 49ers and Aiyuk would come to some kind of agreement in the end. But right now, it seems that things may not be heading in that direction. It was also came out from Matt Mayoko on Aiyuk. He said, it appears more likely than ever that the 49ers are willing to make a trade. It might be up to Aiyuk to determine the next move. So it seems that multiple people are bringing up the fact that it looks like the Niners are now willing to make a trade, and so we'll see if any of that comes to fruition. And then also Cam Marino said, though things remain fluid between the Brandon Aiyuk camp, the 49ers, and their trade partners, the Steelers have been gaining traction as Aiyuk's preferred destination, I'm told. Despite stronger offers from other teams, Pittsburgh has emerged as a real option. So who knows if that is fully accurate? Don't know, but it's interesting to consider. And then here's what Adam Schefter had to say earlier today on the Pat McAfee show. He basically gets asked if Aiyuk to New England is a potential reality. So listen to this here.
Traded for Matthew Judon. That's not happening.
How about anybody else?
Okay.
Good.
We can dismiss that. Again, I think New England is in the market of acquiring players. I think that they've watched the Brandon Aiyuk situation from afar the entire time. I think they're tracking it. I think every team out there just is wondering, like, the longer this goes on, do we jump in and make a call on Brandon Aiyuk? Would they listen to our offer? New England certainly, I'm sure, would love to have a guy like Brandon Aiyuk. But again, it takes two sides to tango. You got to satisfy the 49ers if you're ever going to make a deal, and the player has to be willing to take the contract from your organization. And even though he doesn't have a no-trade clause in his contract, he has an unofficial no-trade clause, Brandon Aiyuk does right now, because if he doesn't want to go to a team, he could say, I'm not taking that contract, and then why is that team going to give up the amount of compensation it would take to go get him if they know that they can't get him under a long-term deal?
I thought you were going to say the unofficial.
So Adam Schefter brings up a good point there, that because Aiyuk is in the final year of his deal with the Niners, if a team doesn't get the the go-ahead that Aiyuk is okay to sign a long-term extension, why would they give away trade capital if they would only keep Aiyuk for a year? And so Aiyuk does seem to have some kind of control in the situation, but at the same time, if you're the 49ers, you probably want to take the best possible offer that you can get. And I think that with the 49ers in the way that they're built right now, I think in the trade, the best case scenario is to get another receiver back or to get another player back that can at least contribute to your roster in 2024, because the Niners are still, I think, in that Super Bowl window, if you'd like to call it that. And considering the draft is already way past, to get draft capital, sure, that helps next year, but then you're without one of your best weapons. I still think the offense will be fine without Aiyuk. I think that the fact that they drafted a first-round receiver this past offseason in Ricky Pearsall, they were making plans there, I think, in case they were to lose someone like Brandon Aiyuk. And at this point, from these different reports and what I shared as well earlier from Matt Mayoko, it could be that Aiyuk is the one who's having to say whether or not he wants to get traded to these specific teams. And the Niners seem now, if these reports are accurate, that they are willing to trade him. And I was wondering, would there come a point where if you're the Niners and Brandon Aiyuk has caused a stir, not wanting to accept a contract, at what point do you want to sort of allow that to stop being a problem? So it's interesting. The Patriots, Browns, I see why the Patriots would want Aiyuk, the Browns would want Aiyuk, why even the Steelers would want Aiyuk, because these are teams that I think don't have the best wide receiver talent, especially the Patriots, and that could be very crucial for, Drake May to get a weapon like Brandon Aiyuk. If you're Brandon Aiyuk, it seems that your options are, if you stay in San Francisco, you probably have to take less money, seemingly around $26 million. If you go to one of these other teams, you get $30 million, so around $4 million more, but you're on worse teams. But on these teams, he probably will be more of the focal point of the offense, just because in San Francisco, there's so many other weapons that have to get fed, like McCaffrey, like George Kittle, like Deebo Samuel, where if Aiyuk goes to the Patriots, he is easily the number one wide receiver. So maybe he wants to be somewhere where he gets fed a lot more and he's not just a piece of the puzzle, but he's just sort of like a massive piece of what that team needs. But then at the same time, if you stay in San Francisco, you probably have the best chance to go back to a Super Bowl and to be competitive. And so we'll see if anything else comes of this, but right now it still seems that there hasn't been anything official, but things seem to be heating up right now. But if you would like more NFL content, feel free to subscribe down below. Make sure you turn on the post notifications so you never miss any NFL news, and I'll see you guys next time.